these guys got a girlfriend and a bodyguard at the same time. Here are 10 romance anime where the badass girl falls in love with the guy. Let's go. Number 10, Okami-san and her 7 companions. Here, the girl's a badass and the boy is wimpy, but the wimpy boy has the courage to confess to the badass girl and tell her that he loves her. The badass girl says, "What? I'm not interested in romance, I just want to kick some ass." But that doesn't stop our guy from following her around and joining her club, the Otogi Bank. The club's purpose is to solve the mysteries happening in school, and our guy becomes its newest member.
狼さん、よろしくお願いするっす。
あんまりへたれてると放り出す。
Okami-san has a lot of comedy between its action and romance. The romance might start slow since our main girl is a bit of a tsundere, but the action starts off in the first episode itself. It's mostly about the girl being a badass and the guy deciding to win her over by showing her courage. Come on, don't speak bad about this guy. At least he confessed his feelings to his crush, unlike you. Number 9, Valak's Love.
なつきちゃんが気になるんですか?
Time to dive into some Norse mythology. We aren't meeting Thor and Loki here, but we're going to meet some Valkyrie girls. Remember the Valkyries? They are the OP female warriors who served under Odin. But since this is an anime, the main Valkyrie of the show is a tsundere. Don't blame me, blame Japan.
いえ、夏希さんってメガネかけてましたっけ？
僕をバカにしているのか？それくらいは勉強済みだ。勉強するときはメガネをかけるものなのだろ?
Anyways, the plot of this show is pretty simple. This is another anime where the legendary female warriors fall down from the sky onto the main character's lap, and he needs to manage a household full of them. The plot might feel cliche and the characters have the same tropes we've seen a million times, but this is pretty fun to watch. The story is very simple, so you don't need to twist your brain trying to figure out the plot. Number 8, Freezing.
本当に会いたかったんだよ。どこにも行かないで。
Freezing is a very questionable addition to this list, but it's still got the badass female warrior who has a strong connection with the main character, so this counts. It starts off with the usual premise where a grouped resistance force fights against some big aliens who want to conquer the world. Then we have this wimpy main character who gets shoved into this magical score where waifus fight aliens. I know, this main character might not be the best guy out there, but at least the female characters were interesting. The story starts off with these strange flashbacks and even a little bit of a darker tone. But then the fan service comes along and the story starts to get a little less serious. But at least we can all admit the second season has better stakes than the first ones. Number 7, Cross Ange.
こっちよ、この死に損ない。
Time for the prideful girl to learn a lesson. Cross Ange is about Angelise, a proud princess who is proud because she was born in the nobility. But guess what? Her pride's about to become undone. Turns out the nobles became nobles because they have the ability to control a technology known as mana. On her 16th birthday, Angelise finds out she cannot wield mana, so she gets kicked out.
逃げるよ。
One thing I love about this story is the character development they give to the female character. Most anime try to portray female characters as perfect beings, but this show gives our character a flaw and then lets her learn and overcome that flaw during the story. The romance comes when she meets this guy called Tusk, who also needs to learn how to walk without falling on top of the girl. Number 6, Witchcraft Works. Okay, we're going to have another wimpy character again. The story has us follow Honoka Takamiya, your normal high school student who finds himself in the lucky position of sharing the bus and sitting next to the publicly dubbed princess of Togetsu High School, Aikana Kagari. But then the guy gets attacked by a witch with robots and then realizes Honoka is a witch too. The whole point of this anime is to switch the tropes and see how it goes. In most anime, the badass guy protects the damsel in distress, but here the badass girl protects the— wait, what's the word for a guy in distress? I don't know. Anyways, go here for some good romance and some well-animated action scenes, but don't go here expecting a complex magic system. You won't find that in this show. Number 5, Shakuka no Shana. Meet the Crimson Denzins. These monsters come from a parallel universe and devour human minds, transforming them into torches. And by torches, I mean mere human residues with no memory at all. We follow Yuji Sakai, who is attacked by these Denzins, but is saved by a mysterious hunter named Shanna. But that wasn't Yuji's lucky day because he was already reduced to a torch after the attack. So will he team up with the bizarre girl to get what he wants? Yes, he will, because otherwise I won't be speaking of this anime.
抜け殻みたい。
本体はとっさに抜け出したか。
まだ近くにいるかも。
Shakuga no Shana is one of those shows that knows how to balance its romance with its action. We get tons of action with some great animation, but there's also a strong romance subplot in the background too. This is also one of the few shows that isn't rushed just because the writers want to get to the action part. Because of this, characters are fleshed out and you can understand why the two characters perfectly fit each other. Number 4, Alderman in the Sky.
僕がなぜここにいるのか。君をさらいに来たんだ、ヤトリ。未来のないこの国から。
Alderman's romance comes later in the story. I know this because I read some parts of the light novel, so if you want to see romance, read the light novel, but if you want to see some action and some great characters, watch the first season of this show. Alderman on the Sky is about Ikita Sorlock, who only wants to have a peaceful life. Unfortunately, his peaceful life is destroyed when war breaks out between the Kachvama Empire and the neighboring Republic of Kyoka. Ikita and his childhood friend Yatoshino Iksan join the army as military officers, and on their way they get to save a short blonde-haired princess with a big mouth.
比例を承知ながらハローマベッケルと私ヤトリシのイグセムが処置なきことゆえどうぞご容赦を。
ご容赦を。そなたらの行為。
The badass girl here is Yatori. She's like the Mikasa of Alderman, but with more personality. As you watch the anime, you'll see there's a strange bond between her and Ikta, and that's what's going to be further explored in the light novels. But if you want a military anime with a little romance, then here's the show for you. Number 3, Vanitas no Carte.
違う。私はただ本来の目的を達成しないまま帰るわけにはいかないと。
本来の目的？ああ、俺への愛が本物かどうか確かめるだったか。
Time for the badass warrior to fall in love with the vampire. I know vampire stories have been done to death, but man, these characters feel so refreshing. Yep, this guy feels like another version of Dazai in Bogu Stray Dogs, who accidentally got powers to cure vampires. And the girl who is our main character hunts in another vampire show named Jean. No, not that Jean from Fate Grand Order. This Jean is more of a tsundere who can kick ass and look like a waifu at the same time.
やはりそういう君の方が俺は好きだ。
Apart from the characters, this anime also has a great story filled with mystery. It doesn't go the usual vampires vs humans route, instead focuses on a disease that is spreading among vampires. This is an infinitely better love story than Twilight, so make sure to check this one out. Number 2, Garden of Sinners. This is one of my favorite action series that I've recommended to a lot of people, but even I need to admit the story is pretty hard to follow at times. This is mainly because the first movie is chronologically the 5th movie in the series, so if you need to watch this according to the chronological order, you need to watch the second movie first.
その死体、両手両足をバッサリ切ってそのまま放置されてたらしいよ。
両手両足だけ？それだけで人間って死ぬの？
Garden of Sinners is about this girl called Shiki who has the same ability as Shiki from Tsukihime. She can see lines, and if she cuts it, she can destroy literally anything. She joins a detective agency where they solve supernatural crimes. Apart from the romance and the jaw-dropping action scenes from Uftabol, this also has a lot of horror elements to it. So if you're afraid of ghosts, then don't watch this at night. Number 1, Darling in the Franxx.
名前、君の名前は？
名前？僕たちパラサイトに名前なんてある？
I think we all know what this one's about.
ダーリンとダーリンダーリン
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is that anime where the pink-haired girl kisses the oblivious boy and teaches him how to ride the robot. And everyone knows Zero 2. Even after all these years, she's still somehow in the top of a lot of best girl lists. Darling in the Franxx also has an interesting sci-fi plot, which pretty much feels like a ripped-off page of Neon Genesis Evangelion, but with a lot of characters instead of one. And then we have the ending. The ending is a love or hate thing, but these days, most modern anime have love or hate endings, so you might as well watch this show and judge it yourself. But don't worry, you still get a ton of action, a ton of romance, and a ton of darling.